welcome to the greatest tag team running right now in the Midwest. Brixton Nash,
Jameson McGregor.
You're watching Drinkin and Mo's. You're good. Okay. All right, everybody. Welcome to Drinkin and Mo's. I got with me here Brixton Nash, Jameson McGregor. We're here before the big Magnum Wrestling event. It's getting some used to calling it Magnum Wrestling, not Magnum Pro.
Yeah,
but
too still.
Yeah, you guys got your big tag title match, street fight. I know I sure wouldn't want to run up against you guys in that.
The culture is the one that called for it.
So
Old strategy.
I mean, heck, go big or go home, I guess. Well, one thing I like to always start off with before we go into thoughts on the big match, what got you guys started as a fan and what made you decide to jump in?
I've been a fan for, I'm sure like most people since I was a kid. Fan the whole time. And then finally saw the ad for the training aspect and something I thought about for a long time. I met Strife 5 years before I even did it at one of the shows, talked to him there then, just never pulled the trigger, and then finally pulled the trigger, and somehow we wanted the same training class as this dude. So
yeah.
I was about the same, fan forever. I was doing amateur strongman competitions, and then COVID hit. And then the ad showed up that, hey, we're doing training. I'm like, well, this is now. I got to do it now. Never look back.
Pretty cool, because I remember first seeing you guys here and like, okay. What was the hardest part of the training? Because I think a lot of people underestimate how like physically taxing the training can be.
That's probably it's the doing it day in and day out. Your body hurts, honestly hurts. You just got to keep going, keep pushing. I think that's what worked. Him and I ran numerous training matches together, just beating the really hell out of each other. So kind of callous on that, and you just get used to it after a while. So
yeah, at some point it kind of becomes mind over matter. Like you got to mentally want it more than you can. Your body has to physically take it.
Yeah, I've heard from a few different people. It's definitely the keeping on showing up, even when your body's just like, I don't know, I don't feel like it today.
Yep. That's what he said. The mental aspect. Your body will say it. Mind's got to tell you otherwise.
Some things that I want to talk about will go into the show, but each of you guys have had your own little things here as of late. Mr. Nash, if people might recognize you from, I know I was actually there that night at a SmackDown. You and I guess Slater were helping with the whole Sami Zayn thing.
Pushed Sammy out on his cart in his first debut of the talk show.
That was something. I'm like, I was right behind the hard cam, like the section where the hard cam was. And I was just like watching the ring, like, oh, I can see the progression. It was pretty cool. And McGregor here, I saw a big thing about a ladder match here recently.
Yep, over at Rugged Pro, I won the rest of the top ladder match.
Yeah, and I actually just last night talked with the guy that's stirred up a little bit of controversy over there, Lars Metzger.
Oh yeah, good old the monster Lars.
Yeah, I was just talking with him last night. I mean, yeah, that people saying self-proclaimed champ maybe will be the guy to take that off of him.
I do have that briefcase.
You do got the briefcase.
What's a monster to a juggernaut? Like, nothing.
Yeah. All right. So, tag team. You got the big title match tonight. what is your guys' like thoughts on like current state of tag team wrestling? Because I mean, not so much, in my opinion, WWE kind of has the mentality of like, we don't have anything for you, or you, boom, there you go. Then you have places like AEW, GCW, established teams. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I'll let him take this one first. He's a big tag fan.
Yeah, no. When I was growing up, I was a huge tag team wrestling fan. In my opinion, a tag team match could steal the show.
You know?
There's just a lot more than you can't just take A and B and put them together. There has to be chemistry. There has to be timing. There's C and D, put that together too.
Oh my!
There has to be chemistry. There has to be timing. You have to know the person. You just can't throw them in there and expect them to know.
Which is pretty much what happened with us. We always had good singles things going. We had to tag. We were forced to tag a couple times, and we may have butted heads a few times in the ring, but we're still pretty dominant out there. And then eventually we had to break. And we realized that we're just too unstoppable together. So we kind of clicked, and we know each other front and back. We've trained together. We've done this together a long time. Something to be said about two guys that can beat the living hell out of each other on a regular basis, what they're capable of doing if you line up. And that's basically what happened with us.
A lot of tag teams, especially you go back to, I know I've heard Paul Heyman talking about how he put some teams together. I believe it was a Public Enemy, was one where he saw, they had such chemistry heading up against each other that he decided to put them in a tag team. And I mean, one of the most storied tag teams they have.
I agree. That's pretty much what happened with us. Like, we jumped in the ring as singles competitors, and then we tagged, and that's when it just all clicked. It was so.
You basically know what each person's going to do. You know how they operate, how they're going to work. So it just became second nature. At that top of what we already brought as it was, and we are going to tag titles.
That's going to be a hell of a match. Like you, I'm a big fan of tag team wrestling. I actually, one of my first remote episodes was with the SAT, Spanish announce team. I reached out to them because they liked one of my tweets. I'm like, man, they are just facing the Briscoes and the Hardys. Let me see. And then they were all forward. And that was a fun episode. Yeah, no, it's right up on the YouTube channel and on, I think it's actually the first episode of the Spotify series. So there's that. What are some of your thoughts on the rest of the current state of wrestling right now? Because somebody once, not all that long ago, brought it up to me. It might not be as popular as it's ever been, like, Attitude Era, but it's definitely probably some of the most healthy it's ever been. All choices.
There's the most options. Everybody's got their own. So, like high flyer, there's never been more of an option now, and more of an option for people in general. Wrestlers, obviously. So you have all that going. So yes, it's across Main Street, like things did, no, but like that was lightning in a bottle. Yeah, like you have a collaboration, just things. It's a different world now. It's a social media world now. It's all these things. It's awesome to have all these opportunities, but the problem is in our personal life, it's maybe come across as rash and rude, but it's given too many people opportunities. So we find other promotions where there's people getting shots and opportunities. Don't quite understand why.
I can understand that. With all the choices, there's bound to be some people that get a shot on a show that you just watch them and you're like,
but then again, I mean, like I said, it's all these options for it. So you guys see that. And like I said, I'm not trying to bury anybody. It's just something that I noticed. I'm not a big fan of harsh terms, spot monkeys. It's just, there's storytelling, it's wrestling. It's, we're out here to, it's entertainment, but it's still like we're out here to work, tell a story, not where can I put this flip? Why can I do this? It makes zero sense, and it just
There's
not a fan.
yeah, no, I can understand.
If you watch any of our work, it's raw, it's real.
Nope. That's one thing I definitely have always dug about you guys. And I mean, I understand, there's one thing about having those spots in the match that are so overused. It's like, what's so special about it now?
It gets watered down and washed out all the time. I'll take the Attitude Era, for instance. Watch any of those matches back. I'm not going to find flips. Steve Austin's one of the most popular wrestlers of all time. Honestly, obviously on the Mount Rushmore. Watch all this stuff and predominantly kicks and punches.
My all-time favorites right there. Like, I don't get too starstruck. I swear to God, if I ever got to actually meet him, I'd be like, hey, oh, all right. So, you guys, relatively short career so far.
Year and a half.
Got any? One thing I like to compare wrestlers' road stories to, military deployment stories. You guys got any entertaining ones so far?
Nothing too we took a trip down to Texas, a few of the vets. That was one of the wildest fun. We went down there for a seminar and all that stuff, and it was our first long road trip.
Right. That was Texas to South Dakota.
Mm-hmm. Oh boy.
Yeah. And then it was a lot of miles, a lot of stories, a lot of fun things like that. But it was, we haven't had anything crazy yet. Obviously, we have our standard ribs on the road. Nothing crazy. It's fun being on the road. I mean, it's not that hurts. Car rides.
Yes.
You couple those together.
Oh yeah, you get them together after you get banged up in the ring and then have to sit for those long car rides. I can imagine.
It's 280, I'm pushing 250. Areas are easy.
Yeah, like I said, I like to compare the road stories to deployment. I was the type of guy that when I was in, people didn't really suspect me to be the one pulling the ribs. Like in my job training school, every military uniform has a hat cover. We were in a break from class and nobody paying attention to me. Everybody off in their own conversations. And I was just walking around and still nobody knows it was me that did this. Switching everybody's sizes to where it obviously wasn't theirs. So we go to leave for the day, everybody's like, what the fuck? That happened back in 2009. People still don't know it was me that did it. So if somebody watches this, well, secret's out now.
Secret's out now.
Other one I've actually shared a few times. We were in Singapore and got a hotel, got this package where there's this private bar for only people with that package. Yeah, everybody there was all one at a time. Me and my friends, we were all like 2, 3 at a time, going back like 10 times. By the time we were done, we were so fucking hammered. We ended up getting called back. Apparently, I pissed off the guy that called the room because he was all like, "Yeah, you have to be back here by midnight." And hey, what? Midnight? I'm here. It's midnight now. What? He just hung up on me. I love telling that. But yeah. All right. So we want to get into the big show here. Big match, the culture, street fight. What are your thoughts going in there? I know we talked about it a little bit.
Well, we battled them in February, and they found out I didn't live the easy streak that whole year. They held on to titles. They only hung on to them because we absolutely burned this house down. We all beat the living God of each other. We knew it was coming. I don't think they were quite prepared because I think we saw the fact we had been doing this for over a year. We weren't ready for what was coming. Yeah, rattled their cage to say the least, and sometimes jumping them. They rattled their cage enough that they were dumb enough to take the rules. You can't beat us with the rules, so your call is to take them away.
Yeah, doesn't seem like a very logical decision there.
As far as I'm concerned, we clearly have real estate in our hands.
Good point. I mean, I was actually there. I think I was actually there each of the nights you guys ended up facing them. And yeah, it seems like they always kind of, I don't want to, for the risk of disrespecting them, because maybe I'll end up having them at some point. They kind of skated by with those, like the count out and everything.
Who have they beaten since they won the titles? It took them forever to beat the Revolution or the Rotation, whatever the hell they were called.
Yeah, they changed their name.
They took forever to beat them. They finally won. Who have they faced that is a worthy opponent?
Crowd loved them. Crowd cheered for them. They got complacent.
Exactly.
And then they ran into a wall. And now it's time for them to scramble and figure out what to do.
They're gonna find out quick. Get in there.
That you can drive and dance around, playing to the crowd. Who's saving against us?
They found that out last show.
That they did. I was at that one.
Boo us, cheer us. We don't care. We care about W's.
Exactly.
I guess in the end, as long as you get the W. Any thoughts on some of the rest of the matches tonight?
The main event will be interesting.
That it will.
Those guys can work. I got to be in the ring with Devin last time, and it was Wiley. He stole that one from me, but I have to give it to him. Took my eyes off the prize and proved why he's the vet. Lesson learned.
I mean, heck, he proved later on that night with bringing back the piggy in the bank after the
Smart.
match.
He's very, very smart.
I think
I will give him that. Yeah. He's athletic. He's smart and cunning when he is anything. And then Fowler, I mean, it's just an athlete.
He's a machine.
We've been in there with them.
Can't confirm. Fowler's.
Well, the biggest thing is when we work them in the tag, we're smart enough to keep him on the apron.
I've always joked with him that his ass is packed like Lex Luger's forearms. The buns of steel.
It's very hard, yes.
I mean, hell, I had him on one of my first episodes, and I'm like, you know what? You always told me I was going to get to participate in that Buns of Steel challenge, and you're not running from it now. Hurt my hand pretty good. Like, I didn't have anything else to hit it with.
Outside of that, tonight, I think it's going to be a lot of violence. There's a lot of built aggression coming to a head.
Oh, especially with Bogot and Joseph Anderson. I have to get it right.
Not disrespect.
I made the mistake of introducing him as Joey on the episode I had him on. Yeah, he kind of fit in to be pretty good there. Good. But I've known him for so long, it's taken me a little getting used to him.
What did being Joey ever get?
Good point. I mean, he had success there for a while, and then it seemed to start tapering off. And I mean, seems to be doing pretty good with this new attitude. So, hey, more power to him.
When you play for yourself, things kind of start falling in place.
They always say, who was it? Kevin Nash or Hall had said about it's not about making friends, it's about making money. And simple. And he definitely seems to be doing rather well for himself in that area.
That's why he's going to roll all over Bogot.
I mean, I'm conflicted because I'm good friends with the both of them, and when you think about it, Bogot's got some tricks up his sleeve when it comes to violence.
Can't do that in a match.
How'd that work out for him? live face
Oh
off.
yeah, we dropped him in.
Man, you know,
He gets tunnel vision. He doesn't see the big picture.
Exactly.
you know, that is a good point.
Bo's gonna come out here thinking Joseph is still his friend. I can save you, and they're gonna get popped in the mouth. Joseph is gonna steal that whole show.
You know, no, pretty good. You can't see behind the camera, but yeah. No, we won't go there. We'll save that for the show. Save that for the show. All right. I like to do. You might have seen something like this on Broken Skull Sessions. How he has a little bit of a speed round. I want to do that. I name some people. You know, you give me your thoughts. And since you guys are a pretty good tag team, I wanted to kind of theme this towards some pretty historic tag teams. We'll start off with my personal favorite. I actually got to see them live once, the Road Warriors.
Dominant, vicious.
I regret I never actually got to meet either of the two of them. Man, I think it was a Monday Night Raw once. I saw them. Man, what a hit. I was on my feet until they went back to the curtain. Love those guys. Another one. APA. You know, and I'm hoping I get to make this happen, but Farouk there is actually going to be at that Bridge City Slam. I talked with the promoter about recording some stuff there. I'm crossing my fingers. Crossing my fingers, I actually going to make that work. Dudley Boy.
That was one of my favorites. They were one of the reasons I wanted to be a tag team wrestler.
I respect them. I like how they play off each other. Both brought different things to the table. Definitely. With the other two that you've already listed, they're just two dominant forces. So they both complement each other. Like I feel like maybe better.
You know, that is a very good point. You two complement each other there, and they definitely did. They were definitely brought their own things. I know Bully Ray now. He definitely has that brutality, and not that Devon didn't, but there's just that something else that he brought besides it. Definitely complimented that. Next one of the guys on this team is that I'm actually in talks with having him on the show, but you know, he's got his own podcast going right now. New Age Outlaws.
One of my favorites growing up. Very entertaining. Again, had a very like flashy style to it. It's a big fan, but I would say, given how we are, we can't quite relate to their style. Yeah. But yeah, I was definitely a big fan of those.
Definitely two different styles between you guys and them. But, you know, Road Dogg actually follows me on Twitter, and I've been talking to him back and forth, and he says he's interested. So who knows? Maybe I'll look out and make that happen at some point. All right, these guys are doing rather well for themselves right now. Seem rather happy. FTR legends.
My opinion, one of the greatest in the world doing what they're doing right now.
They are tag teams.
Oh, that's
how
true.
it's done.
Exactly.
I mean, they got the AAA tag titles. They got the Ring of Honor ones now.
And the Briscoes, that was an amazing match.
Oh,
I watched it. I sent it right over to him. I'm like,
my favorite match of that entire week. One of them, if not the top, because that was just brutality. Oh, hello. Testing out the sound system here. All right. Anyways, hopefully I didn't get drowned out there. I think with the FTR, one thing I'm looking forward to is this whole Forbidden Door show they just announced.
Yep.
Maybe getting them in there with the IWGP and
Doesn't matter who it's the house now.
Oh, no, I fully agree with you there. All right. So one thing I like to kind of finish off the show with, where can everybody find you? Social medias and any shows you have coming up you want to kind of plug?
I will be at NLW tomorrow, where I beat the brakes off Jason Slater. We have Below Zero.
Well, yeah, Below Zero is going to be me, Brixton Nash, and what is that? Whatever motherfucker's name.
Nino Hatchet.
Yeah.
So we're going to teach them how it's done.
And they're going to put us in there with NDS and PB Brown.
Oh yeah, I saw something about that.
We're going to find out what happens if Ferrari gets hit by a dump truck.
That ain't gonna be good for them.
No.
Not good for them at all.
Otherwise, you can see me on Instagram. It's at Brixton Nash. Facebook, same thing as well.
And Instagram, Facebook, Jameson McGregor, 145.
All right. Well, thank you guys for taking the time to talk to me today. It was a pleasure. And well, I want to say best of luck tonight, but I don't really think y'all need luck because y'all are this game.
Save that for the culture.